Call to order the City Council meeting for the City of East Grand Forks for Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. It is now 5 o'clock. Would the City Clerk please call roll?
Mayor Steve Gander.
Here.
Council President Mark Olstead.
Here.
Council Vice President Chad Grassel.
Here.
Council Members Clarence Vetter. Mike Pekshavinsky.
Here.
Tim Riepel.
Here.
Henry Tweeten.
Here.
Mark Demers.
Does term quorum, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is swearing in of Officer Hodney. Chief Hedlund, please come forward.
I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, my community,
Move on to the open forum. Opportunity for members of the public to address the City Council on items not on the current agenda. Items requiring council action may be deferred to staff, boards, and commissions for research and future council agendas if appropriate. If you'd like to address the City Council at this time, please come up to the podium to do so. I see none. Approval of minutes for September 18th regular meeting, September 25th work session, and summary for September 25th closed session.
Move.
Moved by Grassel.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Demers.
Yes.
Pekshavinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Olstead.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Scheduled bid lettings, none. Scheduled public hearings, none. Consent agenda, there is none. Acknowledge receipt of reports of officers, boards, and commissions. Regular meeting minutes of Water, Light, and Power and Building Commission for September 6, 2018. Regular meeting minutes of Resurrection Cemetery Commission of April 25th, 2018. And organizational and regular meeting minutes of Park and Recreation Commission for April 23rd, May 16th, June 20th, July 18th, and August 25th, 2018. Communication. Number 7, update on Northland Community and Technical College from President Dennis Bona. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I have a handout.
Thank you.
I need everybody to solemnly swear they won't share this with anybody because it's stealing my thunder for my State of the College presentation. These are only draft slides, though.
Thank you.
So it will look a little different on the day of the big event. Sorry for the folks in the audience. I don't get to see.
I know.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to address you all and just kind of reconnect with you. It's been a couple years since I've been able to make any kind of presentation about Northland, and I do recognize you all might not be there for the State of the College event, although I hope I see many of you there. And we'll go over in greater detail some of the great things that have been happening at Northland Community and Technical College. And I'm just going to hit a few of these slides on this handout that I gave you that I think are of particular importance. But the first one, for those who have not heard, we are really excited about celebrating the fact that the Wallet Hub people, and I really don't exactly know who they are, but they rank colleges across the country, and they ranked all the community colleges in the nation, or about 740 community colleges. And in that ranking, we were so fortunate to be ranked the 5th in the country in terms of from best to worst community colleges. And what I'm particularly proud of is why they ranked us 5th in the country. And in your handout there, it goes over a couple of the criteria that were used. The first one are the educational outcomes. In terms of how well we retain students, what our graduation rate for students is, the transfer rate, that's the students who transferred successfully onto a university, the number of credentials that were awarded, the student-faculty ratio, so we're very proud of the fact that we have a low teacher-to-student ratio, and the number of full-time faculty for the number of students we have at the institution. Cost and financing is also very a point of pride for us. The tuition and fees are low, comparatively speaking, to around the country. The scholarships that we have available per pupil are higher than most colleges. And the spending in terms of our total amount of budget that goes back directly to the students is higher than what you typically would find at a college around the country. The career outcomes perhaps we're the most proud of. This is the return on investment that students get when they attend Northland Community and Technical College, is that their median salary after attending goes up at a higher percentage, at a higher rate than colleges around and students around the country. And then the student loan default rate is very, very low compared to other colleges in the country. So we're very proud of those statistics and pleased that we are rated so highly in the country. Turning the page, you'll see that Representative Fabian and Keel put a proclamation together. I won't read that. I will blow that up in greater detail at the State of the College, but it was very nice that our legislatures recognized what a value our college is to this community. Other great news is that enrollment actually increased a significant percentage this fall from last fall. We are up 6% enrollment, 6.6% actually, on the first day of classes. And to analyze that enrollment increase is worth your attention. The head count, the number of bodies, is up 4%. And what people always underestimate is the number of people who register for classes in just one semester. That's an unduplicated number of 3,339 students registered at Northland this fall. Again, that's a number people don't typically expect, but it's a very real number, and we're proud of that. The number of distance students, that's students taking online courses, is up 14%. Meaning now that 24% of the classes that are taken at Northland are online. So even if the parking lot may not seem as jammed as it might be, there are students taking classes and teachers teaching students, but it happens online at a greater percentage than it has in the past. A very interesting statistic is that the biggest bump demographically we had in student enrollment was students from the ages of 30 to 39. Now that's very significant. What we're finding is it's still hard to attract students from 18 to 24 years of age because employment is very easy out there. There are opportunities, not great career opportunities, but jobs. And they jump at that when they're 18 to 24 in big numbers. But eventually they get they get the sense of that they're looking for a career, something that is more intrinsically rewarding perhaps, or pays better. And so they're coming back to school in their 30s to retool and retrain for a career, and that's a population we routinely market to, and we want known that it's not too late to come back to college. For those of, not a lot in this crowd, but for those of you in your early 30s, you still got 25 years of work life yet, and it's not too late to retrain. So we will talk and make a lot of noise about that. Just of interest, Minnesota residents make up 2/3 of our students, but a full third of our students come from North Dakota. So we serve the region. We don't serve just Minnesota. And we're still about 62% female and 38% male. Most of that is because of the high enrollment we have in our health technology programs. Nursing being, of course, the largest one there. Just some kind of highlights of other good things that happened. Our aerospace programming, particularly our unmanned aerial systems programs, were invited this past summer. We were down there at US Bank Stadium in the cities. They asked us to do an aerial survey of the roof and the structural integrity of US Bank Stadium. And we did that it was a great success in terms of the success of that project. And we're getting a lot of press for that down in the cities, and it's actually going to, we believe, help enrollment up here in our unmanned aerial systems programming. I want to talk about a very cool partnership. Our food service company didn't work out so well with us for us last year, and so we put an RFP out there to see who else could provide food service. And East Grand Forks Public Schools, we decided to give them a call. They thought that might work, and boy, it's been a tremendous success. East Grand Forks Public Schools, it now becomes a source of revenue for them. It becomes less expensive for us. We don't have to underwrite the food service at all, which we have had to do in the past. And in fact, our students are getting better food and better food service. I have gained a little bit of pound, a little bit of weight since all this has happened, and some of our staff is, so we're going to have to put a fitness program in place, but it's really good food, and we're really very satisfied with the service. We had some great physical plant improvements that happened. It spent about $3 million. Most of that, or a great part of that, on new roof for a section of the building in East Grand Forks. And then we also upgraded significantly our science labs and one of our health technology labs, our radiography program lab there. Those labs look fabulous now. They can actually hold more people than they had in the past, and meeting all of the ADA requirements. There was a study done on the total overall economic impact of Northland Community College in the regions, in the area that we serve. And here's some numbers that just came out. They've not been publicly released yet. But we find that the spending in the communities that we serve is somewhere around $51 million in operational and capital cost. And the estimate is that students and visitors for students spend about $82.6 million a year annually in the communities that we serve. That's a significant impact. The workforce, we support about 1,100 jobs in the community directly, and we place about 900, last year we placed 983 graduates into jobs into the communities that we serve. And so we're very proud of the impact we have overall on our workforce. So those are just some of the highlights. I've got a few other staff that I talk about in better detail that received significant awards. And we have other surprises in store for the State of the College event here on October 18th. Again, hoping you can do that. Do I have any questions from anybody? Henry.
I'd just like to ask you two questions. You do have night school, is that right?
Yes, we're running about 18 or so classes in the evenings. Most of those are general education classes. We don't have any programs right now that we're offering in the evening. That's not to say we won't get there at some point. So for the students who are working in a day and want to take classes that intend to transfer, they have an evening option. And of course, they also have that online option as well.
You can enroll now for classes the second semester.
We can enroll, I don't think registration is open right now, but it'll be open within 2 weeks. So by the time we do the state of the city or the state of the college address, registration is open for the fall semester or spring semester.
And it's important that people enroll early because some classes fill up early.
That's correct. Our strongest programs right now are our construction programs. Those programs are going really well. The welding and the construction program itself. Our manufacturing program is just starting to take off. It's starting to grow a little bit. We're happy with what we've done there in working with Crystal Sugar and Philadelphia Macaroni and Simplot and putting a program together to serve those major industries in the area. So we're busy over there.
You invite the council up there for some good food.
When will I do that?
Invite the council up shortly to
Absolutely.
have some of that good food.
Absolutely, yes. Anytime you want to have
No
lunch, you can
further
come over.
comments.
Right.
Anybody else have anything? Mayor Gander.
Thank you for the hot dog, beans, and chips the other day.
Oh, yes.
They had an event not so long ago where they reached out to the Grand Forks Air Force Base and showing the airmen what we have to offer them, both for advancing their career and also in the unmanned area. And I was really glad to be out there, and I know that's an event that's just getting started. Hopefully year by year that will grow and create a better connection as we go along there. I do appreciate the connection that you and I have started to develop over these last couple of years. Back and forth, we've had a lot of exchanges about different things, and even serves on our library board. So that's another great connection that we have with President Bona. So thank you for that. And again, from us, let us know if there's anything that you need.
Okay, thank you for that. I will say we had speaking of hot dogs, this past week we did student appreciation days where we served the students lunch, gave them a free lunch, a hot dog lunch, and I grilled the hot dogs. I personally grilled 800 hot dogs in 3 days. I'm really not interested at this point in eating a hot dog for some time, but that was a fun event and the students appreciate it. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Move on to old business. There's none. New business, number 8, consider approving the Special Operations Group's Joint Powers Agreement and the Addendum 1 between the City of East Grand Forks and regional law enforcement agencies to provide for the joint exercise of peace officer duties and emergency response. Moved by Pachivinsky, second by Riepel. Any questions or discussion? See none. Roll call, please.
Demers?
Yes.
Pakshavinsky?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Tweeten?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Grassel?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 9, consider adopting the updated pay scale for the winter seasonal part-time for 2018 and the updated pay scale to effect January 1st, 2019, which does account for the increases to minimum wage.
Move.
Moved by Grassel. Second by Riepel. Any questions or discussion? See none. Roll call, please.
Demers?
Yes.
Pakshavinsky?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Tweeten?
Yes.
Olsted?
Yes.
Grassel?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 10, consider adopting resolution number 18-10-61, accepting donations for the purchase of playground equipment and park benches from Danmore Park.
Move.
Moved by Pachivinsky, second by Tweeten. Any questions or discussion? Mr. Pachivinsky.
Just want to comment on this. This is a park up in the south end of town, and my son and his wife and their neighbors were involved in a block party that raised the money to help with the improvements for Danmore Park. And I just wanted to thank Reed and his department for the very good cooperation and the feedback that I've gotten from my son and their neighbors about how the Park and Rec department stepped up and helped facilitate this, and all the help that you did to make this event successful. And hopefully that park will blossom, and I think it will. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything? See none. Roll call, please.
Demers?
Yes.
Pakshavinsky?
Yes.
Riepel?
Yes.
Tweeten?
Yes.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 11, consider adopting resolution number 18-10-62, accepting donations for the Skate-a-thon fundraising event to assist youth recreational ice hockey and figure skating programs.
Move.
Moved by Tweeten, second by Demers. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Demers.
Yes.
Pakshavinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Number 12, consider approving a request to start a new hiring register for police department.
Move.
Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Grassel. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Demers.
Yes.
Pakshavinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Claims 13, consider authorizing the city administrator clerk treasurer to issue payment of recommended bills and payroll.
Move pay bills.
Moved by Demers.
Second.
Second by Riepel. Roll call, please.
Demers.
Yes.
Pakshavinsky.
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Tweeten.
Yes.
Olsted.
Yes.
Grassel.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Mayor Gander.
Once a year, we have opportunity to take a look at the work that is done by our city administrator, and that is the place that we are right now. And I want to be the first to publicly say how pleased we are to have you here, Mr. Murphy. You really understand what it takes to do your job. You understand that you take instruction, you take guidance from the council, you bring it out to your team, and of course, you're only as effective as the team that you have, and you have a great team, right? And you have a great relationship with them. I think you present yourself very well to them and cooperate and listen and hopefully glean the good that each one of them have toward a good result for our city. And so whatever happens, whatever follows out of this meeting, I want you to know we are blessed to have you right here, right now, in the capacity that you are with the skills that you have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Pakshavinsky.
I would agree with the mayor, and I'd just like to comment about the Twins fired Paul Molitor today, and just want to let the front office know that I'm available next year. I mean, really, what have you got to lose? That's all I got.
Mr. Riepel.
I'd just like to thank Jason and the crew. I saw him out at 7 o'clock this morning cleaning up the berms here in town from all the garbage. There were some pretty big piles from what I saw. And speaking of cleaning, we have to get together, Mr. Mayor, and discuss our little downtown parking lot cleaning situation for this winter.
Is it dirty?
There will be snow, and we have to figure out how we're going to get that cleaned up.
Absolutely.
No comment.
Mr. Demers.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess the first thing I'd like to say is had the opportunity to go to the Fire Hall open house yesterday. It was well run, and all your crew, chief, were personable, professional. It was a great turnout, I thought, by the community. Look forward to those in the future, and thank you for doing that. I think even if it gives people just a little bit more awareness and an idea of what you guys do on a daily basis, it's a good thing. Second thing, I was kind of going to comment on the berm cleanup as well, and we should, one of the things I've been thinking about is we've kind of been doing this for 10 years, or probably more, 15 years maybe, twice a year. It seems to me, like you said, there were some big piles, but it seems to me that those piles are slowly diminishing over time, and part of the comment I made to my wife actually was like, at some point we got to be getting rid of, you know, the vast majority of all this stuff. So I would like to, at some point, you know, maybe look at reducing that to one or the other. I'd like to know if our collections have gone down significantly enough that it would make sense to do it at one time, and we could have that discussion at a work session. I just think it might be a topic that we could address. So thank you.
Mr. Grassel.
Just a thank you to Chief Hedlund and Chief Larson. Sometimes people ask what do our firemen do during the day when when there's really nothing going on. They respond to fire alarms that are pulled by 5-year-olds that are in elementary school, and that they come flying in, and they do a great job. And when you tell them, they're very understanding. So I appreciate the fact yesterday that we had a little incident at one of the elementary schools, and they came flying in and took care of things right off the bat. And We had people and parents and stuff out in the parking lot, and they did a nice job of handling that situation, so I appreciate that.
I have nothing for tonight. Mr. Murphy.
Thank you. I just have one item. I did put in front of your desk tonight, we did receive a petition from some of the students from the adult education class out there at the Northland Community College. I did attend that class to hear some of their concerns. I think it went very well, and it's something that we'll be working more on in the future. So that's all I have.
Mr. Gulstead.
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Emery.
Nothing.
Anything from department heads tonight? Chief Edlin and Reed?
Thank you, gentlemen. I just wanted to follow up on the Danmore Park party that we had last Monday. One, to echo the statements of Mr. Pokshavinsky, the thank you to Ben and Marquita, his son and daughter-in-law. They put a ton of work into that themselves, living in that area, and really they came forward with the idea for it. Just that night and some donations coming in, we've already raised more than $1,400 to go towards the equipment that will be placed there, which is half of the swing set that they want to see. So we're still accepting donations. If anybody that's listening wants to make a donation, we still are accepting them on behalf of the city, so they can come right to the Park and Rec office to do that. And we're really appreciative of Ben and Marquita and that whole neighborhood for coming out and participating. It was really fun. The other thing I have, just a couple of event updates. This weekend, don't forget, we have the Arts and Crafts Show at the Civic Center and the VFW on Saturday and Sunday. And not to leave anybody out, the craft beer event, which will be downtown, is Saturday afternoon. So all the departments in the city are working hard and set up with both of those events, but just to make mention of each of those. Thank you.
All crafts all the time this weekend.
Tomorrow is the third annual National Coffee with a Cop Day. Here in East Grand Forks, we're going to be taking part in that for the second time. We're going to be, Parks and Rec and the Senior Citizen Center are kind enough to assist us with that. So we'll be holding that tomorrow afternoon at the Senior Citizen Center from 1 to 3 tomorrow afternoon. Myself and some of our officers will be down there to basically answer anybody's questions that they might have about the police department or law enforcement in general. And call load permitting, Officer Hychek and Leroy are going to be making a stop in as well.
What are the hours of that, Chief?
1 to 3 tomorrow afternoon.
Anything from anybody else? See none, entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Demers. Second by Grassel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Meeting is adjourned. Upstairs, right?
Yeah. How we go down, right?
Yes. Yep, downstairs.
Downstairs now, Henry.
Yeah.